Back in the game and well at the top, a king of the ring and calling my spots. I'm raising the bar to crank it a notch. I'm full of mistakes, cause life is a botch. Lights can get brighter and brighter. I walk through that curtain, my levels get higher and higher. Studied the best, in this generation I'm next. Super Kid Party, no doubt we just hit a suplex. Hooker by crook, survive if I let you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is happening? What's happening, my fellow botching maniacs? Boys, girls, children of all ages. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy coming back like another episode of Impact, bringing all the elite in full effect. You know what I'm saying? Coming at it like a WWE-led machine, baby. We in this thing all the time. We're botches life because that's what we do, man. We botch. It ain't how you botch. It's the fact that you botch and you made life about it. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome to a very special. This is kicking off our Black History Month, where we basically, y'all know how I do it. I've been doing this the past couple years now for y'all, man. Every month when we get into these themes, man. So this is Black History Month coming up. We in 2023 with it, which is a very special year to celebrate all things in Black wrestling, man. So periodically, man, we're gonna have different wrestlers on the show, producers, whoever we can get that's making history in pro wrestling, and while being Black at the same time and just representing for the culture. So this was fitting, man, to have this guy literally be the very first guest for this edition of Black History and Black Wrestlers in Wrestling, man. I got to see this gentleman live for the first time when I first found out about him. Shout out to my boy Austin and you know, my boy Chad, you know, Skywalker, you know what I'm saying? Like Baron Black, you know, just like so many people, man. Battle Slam ATL. If y'all are in Atlanta and y'all have not checked it out, man, make sure you check out a Battle Slam ATL event. Trust me when I say it is always worth the watch. You get to come across some really dope up-and-comers and people who just been in the game already killing it. You probably see them on your TV on a regular weekly basis. You know what I mean? So it was only fitting when I saw this guy, man. You know, I got a chance to, you know, talk with him briefly, his girlfriend who was working his merch table doing, you know, being what a supportive girl does, man, you know, just being there and just doing their thing, man. And these were just, I just loved the vibe that y'all brought, man. Everybody was like mad chill, mad cool. The merch was on point, and I just knew I was like, okay, I got to get this guy on the show, man. And it was a long time coming, you know, and there's no better time than now because, you know, timing was just so perfect that it just fit for Black History Month, man. So my brother, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know how I do this. Y'all know when I host my show, I am known for my introductions and my energy. Y'all know this. So let's see if we can do something fly for my guy. See, ooh, we already getting in there. You know what I'm saying? That was the perfect pun. See, ladies and gentlemen, so this gentleman is a man that really needs no introduction, to be completely honest. But just in case you didn't know this man, allow me to introduce a guy who literally knows the meaning of the word mile high because of the fact that this guy is always in the skies. You got to check those jet propels, brother, because you never know why and where this man is going to come to next. He's going coast to coast. He's going overseas. You catch him at New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can catch him at Impact Wrestling. You can catch him with the icon Sting himself in All Elite Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about my guy, Too Fly, so high in the sky. My guy, you already know it, Kevin the Jet Knight, ladies and gentlemen. What's happening, my guy?
Man, that introduction got me, man.
Hey, that's what we doing.
You must have practiced mirror. You must have practiced that in the mirror. I know you did.
You know what? Funny thing, man, I'm gonna be honest. See, I'm a rapper when I'm not doing this wrestling podcast thing, right? So a lot of times, most of this is coming off the dome. You feel me? Like, I mean, many of the guests we done had on the show, man, if I'm being honest, like, you name it, Jordan Grace, R-Truth, man, the Godfather, like so many different people from all levels. Rico Gonzalez, my boy on the indie scene, doing his thing. Like anybody we bring on, I just have fun with it because I love to like make my guests feel it. I guess you could say guys like Howard Finkel, Justin Roberts, you know, all these dope ring announcers out there. Add that with my charisma and energy, man, and I'm like, yo, I need to be in somebody's ring getting ready to
We
just
gotta get you on the show sometime. We
let's
gotta
do
talk
it.
about it and get you over there.
Man, legit, bro. Look, I'm ready, bro. Like I'm ready to show this charisma to the world. You know what I'm saying? Because this right here is always a vibe when I'm with fellow wrestlers in the game that's like doing their thing, and it just gets me hyped to see y'all so hyped because like from the time the music hits to
Yeah,
getting the thrill and adrenaline of the crowd, and then to literally be able to like match the energy y'all bringing by announcing y'all to make y'all even more hype. Shoot, man,
that's
you
true
can't be
because
no
we feed off the energy.
sure.
And no matter if it's 10,000, 2,000, 220, zero
Yeah,
people,
come
we
on.
feel like it's
Yeah,
we but as much as y'all need us. So it's a symbiotic relationship, you know.
man, you so right, brother, and I totally agree. You know, it's kind of funny too because I shout out to my boy Gresh. He's my fellow partner in content creating
Hey,
with the Gresh Unleashed podcast, and I shouted you out when we had our end of the year awards, and we came up with best indie themes of for the independent scenes, right? So we were talking about how like you got your mainstream themes, but we're talking about indie wrestlers out there who literally come out to like just a common song that we all know, but it's a song that
yeah,
fits the character. So I don't know necessarily if that song fit what your character was, but the fact
yeah,
that you came out to it, I was like, respect. Man, when I saw you at Battle Slam ATL come out to that What Up Gangster by
yeah.
50
That's
Cent, bro, I was like, ooh.
classic. That's a classic. I had to, and it's funny being with my character because when I was doing that the last battle slam, I just came out as myself, like Kevin the Jet Knight, but I was still doing the young lion thing, still figuring things out. I was like,
Ah,
hard. That's hard. Let me just ride with the OG 50 Cent. So I just
yeah.
had to, you know.
Yeah. No, that was fitting, man. Like I had to throw it in there as an honorable mention because I was like, well, my guy probably don't come out to this on a regular when he on the scene, especially being overseas. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just throw that in there because I respect that, and we ended up giving it to another wrestler, but we had to put you in the nominees though. I was
Oh,
like, man, you know what, my
the
boy, hey,
shout out.
hey, you know what I'm saying? That was love though. That was love. I was like, so that's what we do. We try to show as local content creators, especially black ones. We try to show our wrestlers on all levels, especially when we did our Black Wrestling Spotlight, which is what I do in this month in general. I can't speak for other podcasters out there whether they do or don't do these type of things. I know they may mention it, but
Yeah.
this was fitting to have you on here, man, because I do a thing called the Independent Wrestling Spotlight. And, I know in your case, some would wonder, independent sign, we've seen you, in promotions doing your thing. So we'll get into that. But it's more so for you, brother, like just, to already give you your flowers now, just from some of the matches I've seen
Man,
including live. Like, brother, you are on your come up, and I see your jet literally propelling like that. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
man, you were. It's a matter of time. That's all I can say from just how I'm seeing your momentum going. Like,
that's what I
daily,
mean. We go together perfect. It's a matter of time.
it's a
He
matter
the
of
top,
time.
it's like
Yes,
it's it goes together so naturally. So yeah, everything you say,
yeah.
yeah,
Come
listen, I
on.
appreciate them words, man. I really do.
Man, listen, you already know, brother. We always got to stick together and support each other, like you said,
Got,
man. And appreciate
got,
you, man, for hopping on with us. So we gonna jump right into this thing, man. Well, first off, what I like to do, I do this thing I call a botch breaker, right? So botch breakers are basically kind of like icebreakers, right? But what it is it's taking the pun of the word botch, which in wrestling terms you already know is typically when you made a little slight mistake, whether it was a miscommunication in a move, or maybe you were cutting a promo and you might have said something the wrong way, just something that stuck with you, where maybe it was obvious, maybe it was just obvious to you and nobody else caught it. But real quick, man, share a quick what's the most memorable botch in your career so far that you can think of where you were like, man, I can't believe I did that.
most memorable botch, man. I got to do some thinking because I don't like to dwell on those things too much. Like it go as soon as it happens, it's in my head and out of it.
Yeah.
But I first started, I messed up. I went for like springboard 450 or something like that, and I slipped all the way, landed flat on my face. One of my
Oh,
matches. I don't even know if the tape out there, but like ever since then, I'm wary about doing anything on them ropes. Like
yeah.
you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful on them ropes. So I'm like, yeah, I need to test them joints out.
Come
So,
on, talk about it, brother. Because you know everybody ropes ain't always as tight as you think, right?
yeah,
Like you can tell. You know, some a little more loose, some maybe sturdy. You know, like you can tell when you see it. You know what I mean? I've been peeping some stuff like that. So that no, that's a good one. I like that botch. You know what I'm saying? And I like even more that you were the living example of why this show is called Life's a Botch. Like you take the fact of what the punchline is literally because of the
yeah,
fact that you're like, man, I'm not even reflecting
yeah,
too much on it. If it happens, it happens. But I'm
yeah,
moving on because like it's gonna
yeah.
happen, right?
I get.
But
I played football, man. If you got a bad play or something bad happen, man, you just gotta wash it out your head. You gotta go to the next play. If you still thinking about that bad play, it's gonna keep happening over and over and over. So I'm like, something bad happened, it's water off my back. Like I'm not even gonna think about it.
come
You know,
on, man. See, that's what I'm talking about, Kevin. That's see, shout out to football, y'all. That's what they teach you in that. That's good coaching right
life,
there.
yeah, life lesson.
Uh, you know it, man. So that's our little botch breaker segment that we do. You know, just to kind of get the feet wet in the thing, man. So let's now we really gonna step into this thing, and we're gonna talk and focus on you, Kevin, and talk about like what I heard you mention football for one, so definitely that explains the hops.
Word,
That explains why where the Jet nickname is living up to a little bit. My boy then got them hops, already from the athletics. So what brought you into this realm and world of pro wrestling? How did all of the athletic background even start, man?
and it's I watched wrestling for a long time when I was like 2, 3 years old. When I played all the video games, SmackDown 1 and 2,
Come on.
WrestleMania that them 3 games are burnt into my brain. So I was,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
creating my character, and the main thing I stuck with was the main thing that draw me into wrestling is always the showmanship,
Mhm.
the entrance, and the gear. Like if you got a cool looking gear, cool theme song, I'm messing with you. Like
Yeah,
I like so I spent all my time on the entrance, putting their stuff together. I don't, the moves or whatever,
yeah.
but like that's what always draws me in. It's just it looks like a real life superhero. Like I'm not too much in the comics and
Mhm.
super all that stuff. So that's what wrestling is for me. It's like these
Cool.
these so though like that's what always drew me into, and I just love the real life athleticism. It was just always cool to me. So I just
Yeah.
yeah yeah
I rocks with that, bro. I rocks with that. I've been into the superhero get pretty often, but I would say, let's see, like, nah, yeah, it's kind of nice balance between the two for me when it comes to like the comics and superheroes and like for me it's more so the movies and the like animated cartoons with the Marvel stuff for sure, more so than the comics. But I did kind of dip and dabble in those, but wrestling also is on par with that for me. That's just like how those two were for my childhood and stuff like that. So I can relate to that, man.
yeah.
Um, let's see, like, so from there, man, you mentioned like people that stuck out to you, like if you had a dope outfit, dope entrance, thing like that. Like, so who are the inspirations and what's your key era? Like, what's your go-to era in wrestling?
Man, I can't give you a key era because I was so young when the Attitude Era came out. But man, whenever I played them SmackDown games, it was Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys for sure. Like
Ooh,
every
okay.
different arm sleeves, he did this little dance and everything. Like I was like, that's my
Yeah.
guy. That's my
Yeah, yeah. I feel you, bro. That was me too. That was me back there, man. Like, I don't know, man. The Hardy Boys just had that era, man. They
I, the biggest thing I loved about them is that they never wore the same thing. Like they always wore something different when they came. I always mess
yes.
like if you got a set ring gear, like that's cool, but I just like the fact they came out with something different. Like that
Yeah.
was that's what attracted me to them. And I really love the presentation of Gold Dust. He'll come out with the wig on, the confetti will be coming out, like he be doing
Yeah.
the whole thing. So I
That all gold screen picture that you had, like, yeah, man. That
yeah,
that
entrances
was.
is a big for me. If you got a good entrance, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
See, I respect that. You're an interest kind of guy, like an interest. So the look is like the first thing you're gonna see
Yeah.
I respect that because that's most times I was just putting my girl on to wrestling not too long ago. And she's that's usually kind of what it's the look first, usually, and then it's kind of like she's gonna pay attention to how that person fights in the ring person, right? So like if she likes the way they fight when they're in there, then it's like, okay, I like this person. So for example,
what type you like the hard hitting style, the grappling, high flying, like
it seems like because she's like a strategist, so it's kind of like she likes if it logically looks like yeah, I would do that in this type of situation. So like for example, you mentioned presentation and look. Like her main male favorite superstar right now is Seth Rollins.
okay.
Like she just loves his over the top
Yeah.
laugh, persona, like the way he's coming out with these crazy outfits and like just doing these random dances. Like it's attractive to her. Like she likes the way that presents itself. So I was like, hey, that's the guy. That's him, man. And then yet, now it's funny though, because with his wife Becky, if she comes out, I'm like, well, what about Becky? And she ain't rocking with Becky too much. She don't like Becky as much, right? So it's interesting when you watch her perspective, and I'm always like, well, that's cool, But even with Battle Slam, like I couldn't have her with me that night when I got to meet you for the first time. So I would have been definitely interested to see what she would have thought about your style. But I could tell she probably would have definitely vibed with your style because of the high. I remember there was a fatal four way that my guy Chad was in, and it was let me see. The first show I attended was back in, I think it was July or June of last year, and it was, I know Chad was in that fatal four way. Why are those names slipping me right now? Because one was a masked wrestler and he was mad cool to talk to. He was just on the last card that they did because I remember seeing him again.
Ariel Van Gogh.
Yes, I think it was him.
Or Ray Fury. One of the two.
Ray Fury. Let me see. Was it Ray Fury? It definitely wasn't Ray Fury. So I want to say it was Van Gogh. I want to say it was because he did something where he hung from the ceiling of the building. Yeah, man. Like, dude, when I saw that and she saw that, like, and we were right there ringside too. So it was like for her to see a lot of what was going on was just like, man, this is cool. But it was so funny because like whenever a dive spot would come and like they land in the crowd, she's like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, that's how it gets.
No, like they'll really like land in your lap if you don't move. Like, like when people come to shows, they be surprised every time, pleasantly surprised.
Oh yeah, I always enjoy looking at that reaction because I'm just like, well, hey, I mean, that's the beauty of being you asked for it. Like they take it as a mosh pit at that point. Like, okay, I'm finna dive, so either move or it's like
that's your own risk. That's your own risk.
That's what I always loved about wrestling, man, in terms of you just never know what you were gonna get. And even with like indie shows, that's what makes it even the best because it's like indie shows hit differently because you're like in person. So like not only do you get to interact like after, before, things like that, but like you get to see that. Like you actually get to slap hands, you actually get to probably hand them a weapon if you want, or like you said,
a lot more intimate environment than being on a TV style type show.
Yeah, and it's just it's really cool to see. And I respect everybody on the indie scene because that was my first Battle Slam was my first indie show really since probably like high school for me because I know my high school did an indie show once with I share this story with people a lot because it was pretty cool as a wrestling fan to be like, oh man, they're coming to my high school, like and that was at that time when wrestling was one of those things where you got judged if you liked it back then. So it was like if you were into it, you were into it, and if it wasn't a thing, you was uncool, I guess, right? So
it still is.
Yeah, it has this, but it's like I would say I'd argue now that it's gotten way more popular. Maybe not quite Attitude Era level popular, like it was back then was one of those where everybody and their mama watched it for different reasons, right? Because it was like mainstream level popular. But like now it's more in an acceptable phase of like, hey, I like it, take it or leave it, more so than like closet, like, yeah, I kind of like this, but I don't know how to share that to somebody. Like
Oh,
especially as
that's
you get
dope.
older. Like as a kid though, kids is different. But like when you're
Yeah.
like in your teen phase and you still like wrestling, like
Like, oh, you
people,
watch wrestling?
yeah,
Ain't that?
like what you watching that for? You need to be hanging out with these girls or something, man, or
Yeah.
go do whatever's popular at the time. And like, nah. But with you, man, yeah, like I said, your seeing you and just doing your thing, man, it was like this guy is like I like to look at you as it gives me like that prototypical feel of like how when they talk about in the business when they're like, man, this guy checks off literally all the boxes. Like it's
Man.
like when you see it, it's like, man, you got the look, you got the height, you got the athleticism. It's like, man, shoot, and I could tell you're like a strong silent type when you go out there. You let your move. I could tell you let your move sets do the talking more
Right.
so than hop on the mic, right?
I
You
mean,
know.
there's a time and place. I do need to hop on the mic more to show people that I really can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a matter of time. I'm a perfectionist in that, so I'm
Okay.
just, so I just gotta get everything ready. So that's why I gotta be better about it. But yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
respect.
It's
That's respect. I like
on the,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
though. So tell me this then, man. Would you prefer like because I know you should mention you can hop on the mic. Would you prefer like having a mouthpiece when you're out there, or is it more like, or would you do like a combination of both, like a Brock Lesnar would do, where you're like, okay, I'll hop on the mic if I feel like hopping on the mic, but if not, I'm gonna let my little advocate right here kind of just do all the talking while I just chill, do my thing, and then get in the ring and show y'all what I'm about.
Where honestly, I feel like I'd rather do it myself. I need to speak for myself, but having the
Mm,
mouthpiece, I will maybe feed them some lines or whatever. But I just need to say things how I want to say it. And like I said, I'm a perfectionist in every meaning of the word. So I don't want to make no mistakes. I'm just I just be in my head. So I just gotta get it out there. You know what I mean?
no, for sure. That's respect. A man that fights his own battles verbally and physically. That's something you don't see every day in wrestling. You're like, sometimes it's like, okay, this is my lane. I'm here. I let them do all that. So, I think. But if you ever need the mouthpiece, you just holler at me. I got you, brother. It's okay. I got you. This is kind of what you do around here after a while. Like you get used to it and you fly on the fly. So I'll be like, hey, come on,
Okay.
let's get it. But my guy, let's talk about some inspirations for you because I know you mentioned like what got you into wrestling, but like I was, we talked about the Hardy Boys for sure. So who else stood out to you that you, especially when it came to your in-ring style? Because I noticed with you being a high flyer, I'm gonna just go up the top and say you got high flyers on your list for sure. Who stood out to you the most as somebody you're like, I'm modeling my game literally after this person?
For sure. I told him this when we was out in Japan. Like my boy Leo Rush. He's
Oh.
a huge inspiration on just how I go at wrestling and just my in ring style and just basic stuff. I just love the way he moves. And
Mm.
he moves like a real athlete, and I just really appreciate that. And he got a real mean streak in him too. So I just
Yeah.
modeled it after that and put my own flavor into it. And yeah, I really love the way he moved. One of the first indie shows I ever watched,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know wrestling was. It was on YouTube. I watched him versus Swerve, and he's another
Ooh. Yeah.
wrestling. So them two together, man, they just based my style off of that. I just liked how, like you said, it's two black guys just being taken as a serious wrestler, not as when a lot of us when we get in wrestling, we get to we get pigeonholed into we're just an athlete, or we're
Mm-hmm.
just a or we're just a dancer, a thug, whatever. But nah, they came out was like, nah, you gonna respect me as a wrestler, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what really attracted me to them. So like
Mm.
much respect to them. They really I always wanted to be a wrestler, but once I saw them two do it at the level that they did it, I was like, okay, bet I could do something like this, you know.
I like the way you put that. That was me when it came to when I had R-Truth on the show and I got to have that chance. It was like a podcaster moment, but like a fanboy keep my calm kind of moment because I remember right around the times of, because being from Memphis, Tennessee originally, like I remember when Memphis Championship Wrestling was on Saturdays at that time.
Yep.
So like I remember first finding him through local Memphis Championship Wrestling television before he was like really signed and he was in developmental. And I told him, I was like, yeah, man, I've been a fan of yours since like back in them days. He's like, man, you a for real fan. I was like, bro, it's for real. Cause like I know the music side and the rap persona, that's who he really is because it is him in general,
Yeah.
real life. So it's not a stereotype when he does that with the jeans and everything, but like his athleticism is one of those things. Even when you go back and look at like Young Truth, even though he still looks just as young as he did, he's not aging. But like when you see the young version of him doing like that was stuff nobody was doing at that time.
Nobody was doing it.
To do those flips and splits and like what?
And dancing on the way to the ring.
Come on, man. Like it was so unique. And I don't think he, I was glad to give him like his roses at the time. Just be like, man, I don't think you get enough credit for like how much you trailblazed at that time like that. You know what I'm saying? To be on that kind of level. Man,
never forget.
Real quick. So it's just cool to see to hear that. And I was almost surprised I didn't hear you mention a guy like Shelton Benjamin too for a second.
Honestly, he was when he came into the game, that's when I kind of stopped watching wrestling. So I didn't really get too much of Shelton Benjamin, to be honest with you.
Okay.
At Ruth wrestling area, early 2000s, I didn't really watch that much area because that's when I moved from New York down to Atlanta. And I literally just didn't keep up with it at that time. But now that I'm going back and watching this stuff, I'm like, dang, like we were very, very similar in style. So it's crazy. You don't even watch the guy, but you still like be influenced by him. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Because I was gonna say that looks like a potential dream match. Dare I say to happen? We'll get into your dream matches, but I for one wouldn't mind catching that somehow down the future in the line. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know Shelton showing he's still very much got a lot left in the tank. So it'd be cool to see some of that in the future, along with those other two you mentioned, in Swerve and Leo Rush. Because we're gonna get into that for you, but talk about like so when was that decision when you knew like for a fact, because I know you mentioned you said you saw Leo Rush, you saw guys like Swerve, and Shane Strickland and stuff like that, you saw that and said, okay, in this moment I'm definitely going for it. But like what made it a thought in your mind, like where you were like, because everybody has that journey, like you watch it, you're a fan, and then you're like, I kind of want to do it, but then you're like, I don't know if I should do it. Then you don't know if you get the support. Like, what was the reaction from people, friends, family? Like, were they like, you want to do that, or were they like supportive? Like, oh man, you could totally do that. I could see you doing it. Like, how did that go for you?
So I want to say it was I went to a Raw before Mania, like 2018. They had a Raw in Atlanta. Me and my brothers went. And that was the first ever wrestling event I ever been to, because I never got to go when I was younger or anything, never experienced it. So that was the first time I had to experience it in person. And man, seeing the energy and just seeing how they did things in the ring, seeing how they moved, it looks so different in person than it did on TV. And I was like, wow, I really think I might be able to like try this out. You know what I mean? What that was like April 2018. And later on in that year, I moved out to Seattle. I had a job out there, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna just try this out. I want to just try it out. It's always been a thought in my mind. I was tired of the 9-to-5 lifestyle. I was like, man, I'm still young. I'm not finna waste my life just be behind a desk. So I just tried it out. I went back home actually to QT Marshall School and took a couple bumps, and I was like, man, like I did stuff pretty good, I guess. I'd be practicing on the trampoline when I was younger. So I was like, yeah, I know how to do a couple moves. But yeah, that kind of gave me the confidence to really go for it or whatever. I only told a couple people because I was like, it's nobody's business anyway. Like they're not going to. So once I went back to Seattle after the holidays, I found a lucha school, found a Dwayne Academy, and just went to it. And I think it was me to be away from home, to have no distractions, nobody being in my ears talking about, why you doing that wrestling thing? You already got a good job, stick with it. So I think it's great that I was already on my own out there. So I just honed in, I locked in and just went for it.
See, and that's probably the most inspirational story that I heard, in a sense of, because you usually do have either that support system or not so much support system. Like the beauty of wrestling and wrestlers and their story and how they got into it is always, everyone's story is unique. So to hear that you were already like on your own, already kind of isolated in a sense where you knew like, hey, I can just do this good, like that right there that's a different inspiration right there, because that's like, hey, don't matter, just go for it. Do
it's all self. Like nobody was gonna tell me to be a pro wrestler,
Yes. Got to see, and that explains exactly why you have grown so much already in a short period of time. Because again, I'm getting like Randy Orton vibes with you in terms of like how when they take that look at you again, like it's just like when I saw you do your first drop kick, I'm like, brother, last time I saw somebody do a drop kick that high was a guy like Randy Orton. And then like Maven. I think Maven and Randy Orton were someone like,
Maven, that guy.
Yeah, man. He gets slept on for the way he used to do a drop kick, dude. Was like, bruh, he got hops. You know what I'm saying?
He got the most memorable Royal Rumble eliminations with that drop kick on the Undertaker.
What? Tell me about it, dude. That's why I was like, man, look, hey, I saw that and I said, now see, that's a brother right there that and I almost wonder, I really don't want to mispronounce her name when I say I call her the Queen, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Queen Amanala. Yeah, Amanala. I almost wonder, I think about that infamous viral moment she had with, Athena, where Athena kicked her into the barricade. Have you ever really sat there and said to yourself, I kind of want to do somebody else like that? I want to kick them so hard they kind of like get an infamous viral bump that goes crazy. Have you ever had that thought cross your mind in the ring yet?
I'm gonna be honest. I ain't never had no thought to intentionally hurt nobody, but now that you said something, man, it's a couple people. I could lay it in a couple more. Might get a viral moment in there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Why not? I mean, it's working for her. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's getting booked. She's doing the thing. She's on the come up herself. So I mean, shoot, hey, if it helps, it helps, man. The jet can help somebody propel. Hey, I'm with it.
You see where my hands at.
I dig that, bro. I dig that. So it's right there on the shirt, man. This is Black History Month, the month of February, where it's very important to highlight our culture. We know it's politics in wrestling, just like in everywhere else. We know we're going to come across it. I mean, you've been in the business quite a bit, so I know you've seen
the first ever black young lion in the New Japan system. So all with that, man.
That right there is what I want to talk about right there, my guy. Like, talk about how influential and important that is. How did that even come about for you to just catapult like that and be such a important black? Because I've had times to be able to watch New Japan, and I do respect. I love how wrestling is treated in Japan, for one, right? Because I love a lot of things. Very respectful. I love how Japan is as a whole for a culture. Video games, anime, all these cool things that revolve in Japan. But yet, when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm still working on getting more into it. Like, but when I came across you and then I saw that you were a part of the New Japan Pro Wrestling branch, that was another reason I had to bring you on, because I'm like, this is a black man that's in New Japan. I can't even recall seeing a lot of that often. Like,
a select few. Like, you got MVP, you got ACA, Ricochet. I know there's a few more before them.
I was gonna say, I think R-Truth was a part of that because I do remember one time, unless I'm thinking of AAA, I might be thinking of AAA because it might have been AAA I saw him. Before he was back in WWE, there was a time I saw him overseas a little bit too. But
Okay,
I don't know
okay.
if it was. I don't know if it was New Japan though. I want to say I might have him confused with AAA, but
Maybe I couldn't. I wouldn't be the best resource. You know what I
so
mean?
yeah, somebody find that out for me out there. Let me know if Truth got some roots out there in New Japan. But if not, I know AAA. It was one of those two promotions overseas. But going back to you, brother, like how influential and important it is to see you like just ascend at that and be like a must see figure in New Japan wrestling.
Man. First of all, thank you for saying that because honestly, it don't even feel like that when I'm doing my stuff on a daily because we go into training every day. Shabada getting us on them squats, push ups, hard ass training. You know what I mean? So on a day to day, it don't feel like I'm a superstar on trailblazing. I'm just in there just doing my job. You know what I mean? Just trying to get better, trying to break out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you notice it every day. I'm the only one I see on a daily basis. But I was never a huge same with you. I was never a huge New Japan fan before even getting to the dojo. So just seeing the history of it and seeing how few of us have been here is special just because like you said, it's just a trailblazing moment and it's humbling that I'm in a position because after me, I want to bring in more of us just to let them know like we're here. We're just as good, maybe even better. Like
Mm-hmm.
we here, man. This our business. Like
Come on, come
like
on.
just pride in that. And so that's how I am. I'm a prideful person. So
Yeah, and it shows, bro. Like I said, we see you repping. Shout out to Black Wrestling Alliance out there, man. We're gonna get them on the show at some point as well. They always cover everything in Black wrestling that's going on locally,
yeah,
basically all over. And I believe they featured you on some things as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like they're
you
keeping track and tabs of everybody.
gotta point me to it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's get you in on there, man. And going back to you and I would love to get your thoughts on this while we're talking about people who are trailblazing because on the side of the ladies, we just saw where Mercedes
Hey,
Monet is over
yeah,
here, and she's got a big match coming up where she could be, dare I say, the first black woman, I believe, to win
yeah.
the women's
'Cause
title over there.
that,
So how does that feel to you, man?
that championship just got invented. So the fact that she'll be the second championship holder and the first black woman to hold that is crazy. And
Crazy.
I've been a big fan of Sasha Mercedes for before I even started wrestling. So it's dope to
Mhm.
see her doing her thing.
Yeah.
Um, just her setting trailblazing, like she's gonna bring so many eyes to the company, just how big of a name she is. So it's amazing seeing us doing our thing. You know what I mean? I love to see it. Love to see
Yeah. Yeah,
every,
man.
everybody can eat. Like
Come
everybody.
on.
Oh,
Come on. Hey, well, listen, man. Hopefully, while you're there, maybe we can see a dream scenario. Get a little 6-man tag action or something over there in New Japan. I don't know. Get you in the ring with Miss Mercedes Monet, man, and then have it side by side, man. That'd be like
oh
phenomenal.
yeah. If
You, Kushida, what?
yeah, Peter Monet, yeah, that's a
Sounds
crazy.
like money to me. I'm just saying. You can
I'm a
put whoever you want across the other side. I'm just saying. Like, let's do it.
facts.
you know. But yeah, man. Again, it just thank you for being part of that trailblazing path, man, and really just continuing what, as you said, the MVPs. Now Shelton, I know, has been in New Japan Pro
Yeah,
Wrestling, so definitely him.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So guys like that, man. That
Same Leo and Chris Bay. They was just in the tag league with me as well. Leo was at this past Tokyo Dome Wrestle Kingdom, so he's trailblazing in his own right. So
That's true. That's true. And props to all of you guys, man, because again, it's very important to see, because much like you, I'm sure, like when I was growing up watching wrestling, you didn't really see a lot of highlighted black stars outside of, i.e., The Rock, or
literally,
well,
the
yeah,
fact. The
Yeah, I'm
Rock.
about to say The Rock. I mean, it's, for the most part, like it was The Rock.
Booker T's and Mark Henry's and everything,
Yeah.
but no that highlighted like to that statue.
Yeah, and it was just to see it and how it's just evolved over time from Kofi's win, Lashley's win, you name it, Rick Swan,
Big E.
Big E, like it's just all over, man. And now Black wrestling culture has really just been taking over. So this is part of the importance of having you on, is to just introduce people to you and let's tell them why. I mean, we've kind of already tackled those lanes, but explain the name behind the Jets. Why, who, when? Was this a self-title? Was this people giving you this title because they saw your hop game and said, yo, this dude literally moves like a jet. He's flying. Like, where did all this come from, man?
Man, it came about when before I even started wrestling. I just thought about when I was coming up with wrestling names. I was like, man, what name just sounds cool? And I was like, man, Jet. I was thinking about Jet Li. Like the name Jet Li is a fire name to me. So I was like, yeah, Jet. I got a cool last name, so let me just put that together, and then just put things that go with it, like too fly. It ain't about how fly I dress or how high I jump. It says I'm too fly because I believe I'm too fly. I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's okay.
I'm from New York, raised in Atlanta, started
Okay.
Seattle, now I'm in LA. The jet be here, there, everywhere.
Come on. Ooh, boy, I see you. I see. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you taking the Ric Flair pun to a T. Limousine ride. No, we ain't limousine riding. We jet flying. Oh, there you go, Rick. That's what I'm talking about. We jet flying, baby.
Yeah,
hey, come on now. I love that, bro. I love that. That is so, and I peeped that in your look too, because I see that you've been I saw where it's like, I think when you wrestled that night, you had the black tights, and it's like, you were going for the basic generic look that they, like, hey, I'm wrestling tonight. It's light work. It ain't about what I'm looking like tonight. We finna showcase y'all some things, right? But I've been peeping, from following you on Instagram, stuff like that. I've been peeping the swag, bro. And I've been seeing where you get the aviator shades. You got you got an inspiration of like a pilot like outfit almost, in a sense. You coming out there with the orange. You let them know like, hey, we finna take off tonight.
JET out of this world.
Come on, bro. I wonder. Now here's a funny pun though. I just wonder. I have to ask this question because it's just a thought, a weird thought that just crossed my mind here. Right. Now your name is Kevin the Jet Knight, and you were born in New York but raised in Atlanta. So I have to wonder, sir, does that mean that Kevin the Jet Knight is a fan of the New York Jets in the NFL? Like, what's going on there? Is that
the Jets? I gotta leave that. That's my grandfather. My grandfather, he the Jet fan. So look, he like because he a Jet fan.
Okay.
But everybody else in my family Giants. They Giants all the way.
Oh, okay, yeah. okay. That's respect.
I get cussed out for saying Jets and around my mom.
I never understood that. It's always, New York's always been funny to me for that, because I'm like, wait a minute. So it's either Jets or it's Giants, and it's mostly Giants, but yet neither one of them are based out of New York, because the Bills are the ones that this is weird.
Don't make no sense.
I don't get it. I'm like, wait, but how? And
you're a Jets and the Mets fans or a Giants and Yankees fan. And if you're a Buffalo fan, then yeah, you on the other, you basically from Canada if you're in Buffalo.
And believe it or not, I shout out to my boy Jonathan, shout out to my boy Angel. True Buffalo natives will ride or die for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Still feeling it right now. I think they still kind of, I think they finally gathered it that they're not going to the Super Bowl, unfortunately, but it's okay. It's all right. Yeah. Sorry for my Giants fans too. They
done came up though. They done came up a lot.
They have. And I mean, we see with Big Blue, the Giants, hey, to the fam, if you fam of the Jet, like I said, now I'm from Tennessee. So about me, it's a Titans fan over here. Bad season for us right now. I don't know what we're doing. We need a QB. So until we find that, I don't know, but
Or
for the Giants fans out there, man, congrats to y'all on the fact that y'all made it to playoffs, got to the second round. Unfortunately, the Eagles kind of, put the whooping on it, smackdown down, but hey, it's cool. It is what it is.
it
You feel me?
happens
It
to the best.
happens. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. So, back to the man of the hour, though, not to be confused with Leo Rush, but brother, I just have to wonder, like, what are some give me some future goals that you have from where you are right now in your career. Where do you see yourself in the next few years right now?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that because I've been pondering myself. What do I want to do? Where do I want to take my career and the
Mm,
path I'm on? It's me and Kushida. We teaming up doing our thing. I think we got a great thing going. Great future ahead of us. We just mesh so well, just like in the ring and
yeah,
outside the ring. Kushida's mad cool.
yeah.
He welcomed me with open arms, like accepting of my ideas and everything. So it's been great working with him. So I think we want to go for them IWGP Junior Tag titles sometime this year
Ooh,
and
okay,
to make an impact in that division. And
okay.
staying with the junior division, I think I want to go to the best of Super Juniors and prove my worth in that
Mm,
division and let them know that hey, the Jet is here.
mm.
So went
Come on.
for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight too. You know,
Cool. Okay. Okay, brother. I see dripping in the gold like the bloodline. You
yeah,
coming for it. Trying to
and
let them know we over here with it.
become
All
the
right.
first ever black IWGP Junior Heavyweight. So
I
that's
see it.
on the list.
I see it, brother. I see it. It's coming for you, brother. It's a matter of time. Like I said, it is literally right there written, waiting for you. Right there. So so I gotta ask also, man. You recently, congratulations, made two debuts on screen. And I'm gonna start with the most recent. You
Yep,
you debuted on one of my favorite promotions, of course, Impact Pro Wrestling. You
shout out.
debuted, man. How did that moment feel for you looking back at that? Like, man, I was in the impact zone, man. How did that
Yeah,
feel?
I try not to think about moments too much. I try to attack everything like it's just another day on the job. It's just
Mm.
another practice match. It's just another thing because if I get too much in my head, like, dang, I'm at Impact. I'm at the Hard to Kill pay per view, whatever. I'm working with these legends or whatever. Like, if I think about it too much in the moment, I'm gonna, my mind moves so fast, and I'm gonna get in my own way. So I just think about it as a regular thing. You know what I
That's
mean?
real. I
So just
respect that.
treat it as an everyday thing. So that's how I get through it.
I
But it
respect that, bro. I
was a
like
great
that.
experience getting that TV experience. And just getting to and working with Kushida by my side, he keeps my nerves calm. So I come out there fully confident, fully confident.
Ooh, shout out. See, and that goes back into what you were just saying about being the perfect mess, man. If I'm too high, he cooling me down. You know what I'm saying? If I'm too high, he bring me back down to level playing a little bit just so I can keep it coasted. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that. That does fit, man. So that is just great to see. And then my other moment for you is your AEW debut on screen. Now, even though this was Kushida wrestling in the main event,
Yeah,
the fact that you were just a part of the crew to come out there to be out
yeah.
there with the towel, you had an infamous spot with the icon, the
I
legend they call Sting. You literally got in this man's face and threw him the towel, saying, "Hey, throw your boy Darby the towel because it's over." Like you
oh
said so much in such a little amount of screen time right there. Brother, how did that feel? Because I know you don't catch in moments. I know you mentioned that, but come on.
yeah,
That's a
man.
moment you tell me you couldn't be like, oh man, I'm marking out on the slick right now. This is
I was
Sting.
I was like, man, I'm working with Sting, the legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was very very much surreal. Having to meet him and work with him in that way, and having that moment right at the end of the match in the main event of AEW Dynamite.
Yeah.
Uh, it was a great experience. Taking it all in. But the biggest thing I took away from it is I'm right exactly where I'm supposed to be. So
Mm,
I'm not doubting myself. I ain't got no second thoughts. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and I'm just living it out. Just living it
yeah.
out.
That's
All
what
I
I'm
could.
talking about. Come on. Such a humble brother, man. I mean, literally, like, if again, if this isn't telling people a reason to go check you out, I don't know what is, because y'all see this man's responses, bro. Like, it's a cool confidence, and I respect it. It's like a cool, humble confidence. Like,
Yeah,
you're focused, but at the same time, you're like, chill with it, you know, and I like that. I respect that, bro. I see you. I see
you
you,
see
man.
it.
So I
Yeah,
see it. I see it. I respect the aura, bro, big time. So one last thing I'm gonna bring into you, man, before we let you go is just that you know, again, what's some advice you've been given that you can probably share with some other young aspiring black pro wrestling individual out there, you know, man or, you know, male or female, that is seeing this black excellence on both ends, just shining on the scene, and wants to aspire to get into this. What has been some things that veterans have shared with you secretly that you can share to pass out to a youngin out there, like, hey, go get it?
biggest thing, I could think of is was what I the advice been given to me, and just what I've seen just throughout the years. It's like, it's just go listen to Triple H theme song, man. It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about goal and if you could take it. So like, as being a black wrestler in this business, like, you already know you're gonna come across so much BS. Like, people try and throw dirt in your name for whatever reason. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody do whatever. But for some reason, when it happened to us, it's magnified and da 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 da. You know what I mean? So just know how to play the game. Just know how to move in a room full of vultures. Like, you just see the goal, stay focused on it. Don't let nothing trip you up, because it's gonna be a lot of stuff coming your way. Just always be respectful. If you got something to say, like, don't, I'm not saying hold your tongue, but like, just know the repercussions of what can come with it, and just get your point across in a smart way, so you can still get what you want, but you still not backing down. You know what I mean? It's all about the game play. It's all about the game.
Ooh, look at that. See, such wise words from such a classic theme. And yet I have probably the first person I've ever seen actually do that. Take somebody's legendary theme and make a whole quote out of it just to
Yeah.
be inspiration. Yo, you can't ask for nothing better than this man, y'all. I'm telling y'all, get on the jet, okay? Be a part of the jet and take flight. Not to be confused with Top Flight, but
Right,
still,
my
you know,
boys too.
yeah.
Too. Everybody can eat.
That might could be a faction in the future one day. You never know, man. That just seems like it goes together for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping trios titles. Maybe I don't know. You know, like, hey, we want to go for those trios titles. Who can we get? Oh, I know. Let's go find the Jet. Top Flight, the Jet. It just fits. It just goes. You know what I mean? So, but
you
brother,
manifest it.
Look, it's a beautiful thing, ain't it, man? Especially among us, brother. When we do it, we tell these people, hey, go do it and speak it. You know what I mean? But with that, listen, Kenny, we could totally, I almost said Kenny. I realized my mind tried to botch that. I caught myself because I knew it was gonna happen one day in this interview. I was like, because I was thinking of Kenny the Jet, and I'm like, Kenny, Kevin, Kenny, the Jet. What do they have in common? They're both jets. They fly, right? So I was sitting there, I was like, hold up. It almost came out of me to botch it. And I was like, nope, I caught it. But that's the beauty of it, man. That's why I love doing this, because you never know when my botch is gonna come on this show. And that's why I'm the Prince of Botch, baby. That's what we do sometimes. But going back to you, man, thank you again just for even taking time out your busy schedule to join us here on the show, for being the very first guest in this Black History Month series that we do, where I talk with local Black talent all across independent, signed, wherever level, whatever, however. Thank you, man, for what you are doing. I'm looking forward to continually seeing your growth. Definitely look forward to seeing you again at a future Battle Slam or anywhere else you get. I tried to be at the Impact show. Unfortunately, my schedules miscrossed around that time. I was planning ahead of time to go, and I couldn't make either show, and I was so disappointed because I was like, man, the last time Impact was out here was just, well, for when I went, was just before the pandemic shut everything down, and I wanted to go back to an Impact scene check it out, So hopefully next time when they definitely are back in the A, and I know my boy Jet's gonna come through and make an appearance, wrestle a match or two. Definitely gonna be in the building, support my guy Battle Slam. You already know. Again, shout out to my boy Austin. Shout out to my boy Chad, who we also got to get on this show. God dang it, I'm gonna get you, Chad. I'm gonna get you on the show, man. But no, Skywalker. Hey, you know what? Tell Austin and Baron, y'all, if they haven't already, need to put y'all in the tag team too. The Jet Skywalker,
young Jedi, right there. I'm telling you,
that fits. Yeah, y'all need to be a regular tag team on Battle Slam. I don't know. Yeah. We need to. I'm gonna call up Austin and be like, "Hey, dog, you need to get Jet and Skywalker as tag team, bro. I'm telling you, that's money waiting to happen."
We had a little conflict in the 4-way, so maybe we can make a man. We got the same.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I think about Cesaro and Sheamus. They had conflict. They settled it in a best of 7, and they became the Bar, one of the greatest tag teams. It can work. Be like, hey, young Jedi, y'all come out here. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'll get y'all the theme ready. You know what I mean? We just come out there, get the crowd chanting, and y'all just go out there and take flight, baby. Y'all just do y'all thing, man. Smooth. You feel me?
You see the vision? You see the vision.
You see it. Hey, you know what it is. This is what we do, man. I ain't on no creative booking team or nothing, but I got ideas. You know what I'm saying? I got a little something I can throw to the people. But yeah, man. Tell the people real quick where they can follow you, and support you in all ways, my friend.
Man, you can find me on all social media platforms: Twitter, IG, Facebook at Jet2Fly with two Y's. Cause I'm that fly. So yeah.
Ooh, come on, brother. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I'm out here.
Yeah, man. And shout out to him. He's interactive, man. So y'all, catch him when you can. Like, he's a very busy man, but he will get back with you, man. So just, reach out to him, send him some love, show him some love, because like I said, this man is on his way. And we just thank him for just taking a momentary period to just slightly land right here on the Lights of Botch podcast before he gets ready to take the jet to the next level again. You know what I'm saying? The destination.
A little layover.
A little layover. Yeah, just a little slight. So yeah, guys, thank y'all so much. This again, as y'all know, this is episode 1 on the road to 100 episodes, which when I say episode 1, y'all, I'm talking about episode 1 of the Black History series, not the show. Y'all been listening a long time. Y'all know we on the road to 100. Yeah, we almost there, y'all. We almost there. But still, in the meantime, on the grind, thank y'all for supporting. Make sure you follow the Life's a Botch podcast on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm working on Twitter for y'all. I promise. I have Twitter, just not for the podcast. I'm going to work on doing it, y'all. Okay? Y'all got to follow me when I make it, though. All right? Y'all got to follow me when I make this. So just know I'm going to be on there. But in the meantime, shout out to all of y'all who support us, man. Make sure you keep it locked. It's Royal Rumble week, man. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I botched that, because by the time y'all see this, Royal Rumble's actually over with. So make sure you just follow us. We'll cut that out. We'll edit that one out. Hey, Derek, edit that part out where I said that. If not, oh well, Prince of Botch again strikes. But
hey, that's the name of the game. Life is a botch.
That's a botch. You know it, man. But we do have short form videos and discussions, man, that I try to post on there for a regular basis for y'all, regardless of what it is. Just random cool stuff to talk about, man. Who's next up? Who's your future star of the year? Just all kind of things, man. So make sure y'all keep it locked with us. And yeah, man, we gonna keep doing things for y'all. We're gonna try to do some giveaways soon, hopefully, and just kind of maybe get some signed merch from some artists out there. Some wrestlers out there. Well, I'll see. I'll try to get in some of my bag of relationships for y'all and see what we can do. I don't know. We'll see. You just never know. We'll see what we can do just for y'all out there, man. But you got to be following, and you got to show a lot of interaction and love. All right. So with that, thank y'all so much for joining us on the Lights of Botch podcast. Y'all already know what it is, man. We're going to throw them 2 sweets in the air one good time, y'all. Get y'all that official 2 sweet. Hey, you feel me? Look, it's what we do on the show. We give them that 2 sweets.
Me and Bullet Club, Chris Bay, Jay White, Ace Austin, we ain't really rocking with each other. So rock with them. I can't rock with the two
Okay,
speed.
okay. You know what? That's fair. Forgive me. Forgive me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a middleman. You know, I'm all about, you know, trying to show the love to everybody from every clique and every situation. So you know what? Sorry, Bullet Club. It is what it is. Y'all know this is what we do. But I respect that. I respect that, sir. So forgive me and the clan, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm my bad. My bad. You know, but with that said, shout out to LA Dojo. Shout out to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kushida, shout out to you. Shout out to literally any and everybody who has supported my boy Kevin the Jet Knight. Make sure y'all follow him, show him some love, and until next time, we'll catch y'all later. Peace.